I
You haven't got
promise.
that going yet, have you?
That's on.
Putting on.
Yes, we're on now. Ready to go. Rock and roll.
They should go and respect that. At least.
We could have our guys trying to do it too, you know. I don't know what time they get to do it. Who set all this up? You, young lady?
Thank you. We have a moment, a motion rather, to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
I got 9:29.
I'll second that.
Okay.
I got them all because I was reading them the other night.
Did you all have a chance to read them over?
Yeah, I got 9:29, it says 9:23. That's an extra, but I was reading the other night. I got an extra one in there. Oh, I know what that is, yeah, okay. I'm all set. Yeah.
You're set. All in favor?
All right, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. The first announcement I wanted to make is a repeat, so to speak, of action taken at the last work session it was on September 23rd. At that time, this board appointed myself as the supervisor until the end of the year. And I, in turn, appointed a deputy supervisor, who is Lee Okaniski. I think that Lee brings to this town some skills that we can make very good use of, and I think it's very important. My philosophy of management is that it has to be a team, and I think that he brings some really good skills to complement the team that we have, especially in terms of computers and some engineering background and that sort of thing. So I'm really delighted. Plus, he has beautiful people skills, very, very nice people skills. Also, at that time, we appointed a part-time clerk 2 hours a day, and that is Katrina Seymour, and she has been helping me answering the phone and learning some of the bookkeeping, so if something happened to me, there would be some backup. So that's working out very nicely. And we know Katrina because she has, for the first 3 hours of each day, she works down in the assessor's office. And actually, it's been an enhancement to the assessors and codes office because oftentimes after 12, people do come in and ask to see a tax map or whatever, and she just goes down and takes care of them. So, I wanted to point out that November 2nd is election day, and there's always some confusion about it. Last year, for the very first year, the people who used to vote right in this room started voting over in the community center, but maybe there's some people who did not vote last year will still be knocking at the door here, and it is just next door in the building adjacent to this. But that is only the 3rd district. The other districts, 1st district votes in the Cody Fire Hall on Wilcox Road, and the 2nd, 4th, and 5th districts all vote at the Granby Fire Hall. So it gets a little confusing, but I want people to be clear about, because certainly we want everyone to get out and vote. There's several contests and also a referendum, which we've talked about a good bit earlier this summer and passed a local law, but this local law requires mandates a referendum, and the local law would extend the town clerk's term of office from 2 years to 4 years. This town board thought it was a very good idea, but it's up to the voters, and that will be something that people can vote, cast their vote on November 2nd. Here it is, bottom of the pile. I had a letter about the tentative state equalization rate, and it indicated that tentative equalization rate of 93.1, which is a good bit better than last year. It was 91. So that's good news. Headed in the right direction. Chris Shatro last week took his final class to be certified for the New York State Fire Prevention and Building Code, and we're very proud of Chris. It's been a long haul. There's quite a few different classes that he had to take. I believe he took them all on his vacation days and from his other job, and so he is now fully certified, along with our other code enforcement person, Grace Talents. Speaking of codes, there's a letter from the Department of State, very brief letter, but it just indicated that it is the intention of the department to adopt a new international code, which is the most modern, up-to-date code available. And the state intends to train all code officials in New York State on the new international code with New York State enhancements. We will keep you informed throughout the process as we create, train, and implement the modern uniform fire prevention, building, and energy code for our state. So that's something that's coming down the road. A letter from Fran Sullivan. This is just kind of a reminders of the results of the state budget. She mentions the CHIPS, and we talked about that at the last meeting. And also the revenue sharing. And this year it stays at the same level, and we will receive $53,507. A letter from Oswego County Department of Promotion and Tourism. Each year I have to send them a report on how we spend the so-called bed tax dollars that we receive. It's not a large amount, it's around $300 and some usually per year. But we have spent it in the last 2 years on the Heritage Day event, and they have reviewed the period of December 97 to November 98, and result of these recommendations, I'm pleased to inform you your bed tax disbursements were in compliance with the law and guidelines, and they do have very specific guidelines on how that money is spent. So it was a very successful event, and it did bring in people from outside of the county. I just wanted to make mention, the other day we had someone from our phone company, not the local phone company, but the company that provides our telephone system, electronic system, and made several improvements, and one of which was to make it possible that we could transfer calls over to the community center. And this has not been possible before, and now that they're voting over there on election day, the election inspectors need to be able to receive incoming calls with the change that was made, we can now, like if I leave here, whatever time I leave here, I can set the phone so that any incoming calls will go over there. And so that should help very much on that. And he also did some other things to just upgrade our phones. One of the receivers needed replacing and so forth. And that was all covered by the service maintenance contract that we signed just recently. I do not have anything on anything new on the escrow. All the information I sent to the town attorney, and he's working on that. I expect he'll have something real soon. He did indicate, I believe, there would be a local law, so there will be a public hearing and so forth, but it's in the works. We advertised for the secretary of the ZBA. We did not get any response from the ad. We started asking, and I did ask Carrie Truax, who works in the Justice Office, and she did agree to be the secretary if you would like to entertain that idea. We should do a formal appointment.
Oh, I spoke with her and she said she would do it, yeah.
It's only in a very, very occasional thing, and I think that's why we had trouble getting anyone interested, because it's,
Yeah.
you know, maybe once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times a year. That's about it. And so the pay's not good at all. It's not what you'd call a real job.
Yeah, it's just, you say mad money when you work, that's about it. But you need a counterpart.
We would have to have a motion to appoint her.
Well, I'll make a motion, we appoint Carrie Truax to be secretary to the zoning board.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? I believe the pay for that is $50 per meeting.
Correct.
But that is not just the meeting time. She types up the minutes and makes sure that they are
Oh, yeah.
distributed to everyone and so forth. I think she also has to send out notices to people. So can we have a vote on that, Ruth?
Councilor Anthony?
Yes.
Councilor Greco?
Yes.
Councilor Haggerty?
Yes.
Councilor Followitz?
Aye.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Aye.
We'll just make a note that Chris Shattrell knows. I imagine he does, but
Yeah.
I'll let her, because he has to work in conjunction with her.
And the chairman of the ZBA
And
also.
the chair, yeah.
Will you talk to him?
I haven't talked to the chairman. You want me to talk to the
Would you?
chairman? Oh, okay.
Not sure? Well, I can do it if you want.
Yeah, no, I'll give him, let him know.
Who, Homer?
Yeah.
I could talk to Homer. I talk to Homer every day. You want me,
Okay, well, just
you
tell
want me
him
to
that.
notify him?
Yeah, would you
Just
please?
tell him that.
Sure, I talk to him every day.
Okay.
Gets thirsty?
No,
No, that's fine. Forget what.
we are friends.
We have a vacancy also on the Assessment Board of Review, and this is not an unusual vacancy. The term is up. We did advertise that position also, and the only person who applied is the incumbent, Robert W. Cook from Leomar Drive. This is to inform you that I, Robert W. Cook, would like to continue to be on the Board of Assessment Review Board for the town of Granby, starting October 1st. Thank you. If you have any questions, please call me, and he gives his phone number.
That's the only one we got.
That's the only one.
He's the chairman, too. I think.
He is the chairman, he has been the
Well,
chairman.
I'll make a motion to accept his application.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on that one?
Bob's a good man.
Okay. This is unusual. Most of the terms, like for the planning board and the ZBA, expire at the end of the year, and for some reason this one expires the end of September, I believe. So, could we have a vote on that one?
Councilor Anthony?
Yes.
Councilor Greco?
Yes.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Yes.
Councilor Haggerty?
Yes.
Councilor Followitz?
Aye.
Thank you. I just wanted to make note, we had some inquiries about Merritt Cemetery and doing some repairs or fix-up and clean-up work there. We did such a nice job up at Lewis Cemetery, and Rose and I went up there one day, and Lynn has been up there, and I think we will be able to do some work. There's a tree or at least one tree that has to be removed, but most of the work will have to be done
It'll
in
be
the
done
spring.
in the spring, if I'm still here.
So that's kind of, we'll kind of keep that on our agenda for, make sure it doesn't get away from us and we can do something in the spring on that,
Even if I'm not elected, I will help you.
Absolutely, we're
I will
going to,
volunteer and help you.
to do something there. Very important, the budget hearing has to be scheduled within,
Excuse me, you went over the code of ethics.
What was this code of
oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. That's something that last year Don had brought up in mid-year sometime, and I had some discussion with the town attorney, but it unfortunately never was finished due to Don's illness. So I did talk to the attorney, and I'd like to see that through to conclusion. We really should have that. But I need to do some more research and find out just a little bit more about it. Did you?
Wasn't there a code of ethics? Seems like this was brought up a couple
Been brought
of years,
up.
but nobody could find the...
Well, we found one, but I don't believe it was ever became a law. It's not on our list of local laws.
And if I remember correct, Bob, it was discussed when we had the, working on the employee's handbook. And nothing ever got put in there, I don't believe about it either.
There is one that's about 2.5 pages long, and this is probably the one you discussed.
And it
It's
needed
just-
I
improvement.
don't think I've even seen one. I didn't think anyone found, I know there was mention of it, but
And I don't know where this came from, but
Any date on
there is
that one?
another one.
No.
No, not in terms of, I think it might be an older model. There's another one in this book that was put out in 1988. However, this one is like 58 pages. I don't think we need 58 pages, just by virtue there aren't that many of us and we know each other pretty well, so maybe we can hit somewhere in between. Or maybe the 3 pages would be adequate.
why don't you have copies made and put them in our box and we can
Okay.
review them? And I think it's a good idea that
Right.
we have something available.
We are supposed to have this, and let's get it done just as soon as we can.
Okay, the Merit Cemetery, we're gonna worry about that between now and spring.
You get some prisoners to help us on that too.
The progress has been very good on the budget. We are nearing the end, and we will have a budget hearing. And it has to, by law, be within X number of days after, 5 days?
On or before the Thursday following the general election.
Okay, that only leaves 2 days, Wednesday or Thursday.
Have it before the general election.
Well, we could do that too, that's true.
That's the way it reads.
But since we're here, let's get it scheduled. I'm thinking of that Wednesday, it's not a board meeting night, the day after Election Day.
November the 3rd?
How would that be?
Sounds good right now.
Okay?
You usually call that a work meeting anyways, the week before our regular meeting, don't you?
No, we haven't. We've been having our work sessions 2 weeks after the,
Yeah,
but
that'd be good though.
it pretty much takes up a meeting and
The
Okay.
3rd?
11/3/99 at 7 o'clock, right?
okay? County Legislator, Mr. Sarbello.
Thank you.
I got roses cold, I don't know how, but there's some, tomorrow we have a meeting at the legislature at 2 o'clock, and some of the things that will be coming down the line, of course, is a couple of things which I think interest the public. One of them is the exemption of sales tax on clothing. We intend to hopefully pass that tomorrow, and it'll take place on March 2000 is when it starts. And that's a total exemption. And somewhere in the vicinity, rough figures have given us around $100,000 probably be lost in sales tax from closing at the present structure we have here in the community now for stores and what have you. It's a little bit not known at this point whether the cities are going to go for it. That's still up in the air. Onondaga County is up in the air. So it may have some effect, hopefully, in our economy around here. It's something we're hopefully will pass tomorrow.
Do you, when you say 100,000, is that countywide?
Yeah.
Do you, I'm looking at what would be the impact on our sales tax receipts for our town.
I hope we don't get too much of a... We have gone ahead with, since we passed the sales tax, as you know, exemption on fuels, exemptions on this, and this is one more. Like any exemption, it goes someplace and comes back and is paid by the property owners.
And there's not going to be a limit on this, like they were talking about.
It doesn't look like there's going to be a limit at this point. We're going to try to copy the state's law, and we're going to have the option also to pull it, which we want to do. In case it ever does turn into a big money situation, we may want to not exempt it. So that's what we were waiting for, because in some cases before the old law was you couldn't get out of it. And I don't think any community wants to get into that situation, because we never know. There'll also be a public hearing for the tax installment plan, if you heard about, payment in January, one in June. That will, you can pay half your taxes in January and the other half in June, and if you do that, there will be no interest charges until after June. So that's supposed to be on the floor tomorrow, and I assume that will pass.
Has that been, the hearing been scheduled, or is
The hearing,
the hearing tomorrow?
the hearing part of it. I'm just explaining a lot what will happen. The hearing will be, a date for the hearing will be set.
Will be set.
Yeah.
Will that start January 2000 or?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do, yeah. For year 2000.
The hearing probably won't be, I'm thinking in terms of budget, because it does have some impact. We won't know.
I don't think, Nancy, I really don't know at this point.
Okay,
And before I go any farther, my congratulations to you.
thank you.
For being appointed. And Lee, I think she's entirely right about Lee bringing on a good perspective, and glad to have him aboard. Also, we're going to pass, hopefully tomorrow, a resolution supporting radio maintenance for the volunteer ambulance corps. As you know, the firemen here in the community have had our radios. We gave them the radios. We gave the ambulance corps radios. We gave, I think, everybody a radio that was in the volunteer service that provided public safety or otherwise. And the maintenance, we will, if they got over 50% volunteers, we will pick up the maintenance at the county level. And this is nothing to help our volunteer system. We're hoping for about a 17% reduction in the budget tax levy, not in the budget, but in the tax levy for the county, coming out for year 2000. The budget's in the process. We think it'll be somewhere around 17% reduction.
Per house, per family, per household, rather?
Your county taxes, the amount of tax that is required for people to pay is 17% than it was last year.
17% less. You're hoping for.
That's what we're trying to work for, yes.
You don't have the town breakdowns of that, do you?
No, in the figures that were given to me, as you read in the paper tonight about Oswego, for example, because she's going to get a massive increase because of their equalization rate, our rate was somewhere around 6.9 plus. So it's to our advantage. It should be better, less. That's what that means, basically. After we equalize everything and balance out, it should balance out around 6.9%. You know, once again, coming to equalization rates, what people don't seem to realize is that as the nuclear plants or the steam plant goes down in value, and that money shifts over to the population and in the taxes, and the equalization rate and all that, despite everything else we do, does sometimes you never see any change in your tax. But
right.
At the county budget, the tax levy is 17% lower than it was a year ago. And the surplus money is going to be put into a tax fund reduction and debt reduction for the next 6 years. Any money we had, about $6 million last year, we're going to work on that and put it in slots for the next 6 years to lower our debt. Our debt is only 7% of our borrowing power. In other words, the county of Oswego has only got 7% of its total debt, which is about less than $40 million that we owe, which is only 7% of what we could borrow. So we feel that back into 6 to 7 years, we're going to be down pretty close to a very small amount. Actually, ours is less than some municipalities in the community. So that's all going along good. I think we're in good shape county-wise. And getting back to local business here, the bridge on 14, I've talked to the people on the road crew. We're looking at possibly another 4 weeks. We should have it completed, hopefully, barring the weather. As you know, it's a very entailed bridge. It's all steel constructed. It's not a tube. It's all steel with a top. It's going to be put on it and then macadam over the top. I've been dreaming about the possibility of being able to build a little slight incline to the water so that people with a canoe or boat of some kind can carry to the water to get access to Ox Creek. There really is no way to get there. And I've been working on it. I don't know what results I'll have. I just think there's really no place to get into Ox Creek when you think about how to get in it from a standpoint of a person who just lives anywhere in the community. And I don't know, our highway department actually would do it in a matter of minutes while they're building the bridge, but I have to check with the property owners and all that, and our right-of-way. If nothing else, I'm going to try to have them slope the side of that bank and get it down so that maybe you could get down to the water without having a drop-off, if that's possible. So I am working on that part of it. I'd like to see something like that possibly take place if we could. I don't know if I've missed a couple meetings. We were harvesting onions and one thing or another, so I apologize, but I was appointed to the Industrial Development Board for the county, which is the IDA, as you may hear in many ways, and that's for industrial development. I'm very optimistic with what I hear and see on that board and what's going on in the community. I think there'll be some pleasant surprises, hopefully in the very near future, we'll know about. I'm not free to talk about, but there'll be things I hope that will help us in our economy. And Scythe Energy, of course, today I met with Scythe, and they're, of course, trying to apply for their expansion of their plant, which will be another 800 I can't pronounce the word here, but in any case, we're there. It's about 1/3 of its capacity, and enhanced that much more. The plans are very environmentally conscious. It's an up-to-date, real high-tech addition, real clean burning, and I think we're going to see some results. Well, actually more taxable property, but also 1,000 construction jobs and probably somewhere around 30 people to be hired for this particular situation when it's completed. And that's going to be about 2.5 years into being built. So aside from that, is there any questions, anybody? Any comments?
I'm glad to see the county tax go down, because that's what kills us when we get our taxes, you county people.
I didn't think so.
Town taxes are low. Our town taxes are very low, and people don't understand this. They don't look at we try to keep the town tax very low.
Well,
Granby, it's...
you've done a good job last year. We got that sales tax dollars that came back. I think from all indications you should get almost the same back, hopefully another year.
Maybe with your cut this year, it'll show something.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well,
Nice going.
hope so. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I thank you very much. I have a report from the dog control officer. Number of complaints, 35. Number of dogs picked up, 8. Number of dogs destroyed, 2. Number of dogs released, 7. Number of dogs on hand, 3. We have monthly expenses of $40.70 for food, supplies $2.31. Vet, this was for euthanasia, $110. However, this is being reimbursed by the owner. It was an emergency situation that had to be taken care of right away. The ads, $8. Monthly mileage, $463. Impoundment fees collected, $20. Adoption fees collected, $25. And that's Gail Kalin, the dog control officer. I don't have anything from the assessors. Got a brief note from the historian. Said a month or so ago, I attended a meeting regarding archival grants and then submitted our interest in obtaining such. To date, I have not heard whether we qualified. We've had some grants before, and I hope that we can again achieve another grant in that regarding our archives and record storage. I have had a few requests regarding family history, and I was able to look through our assessment rolls and answer a few questions. Otherwise, I gave them information on genealogy and referred them to Ruth, who is the official keeper of those records, birth records and death records and so forth. Otherwise, all is well.
Nancy, if I may back up a minute to the assessors. I know we haven't talked to it, but we have mentioned in the past about a possible reval done here in the town of Granby. Now, that's something that you just don't generate overnight. It takes a lot of preparation. And I'm wondering if, if we're looking ahead like 2001, might be a date to shoot for, but in the meantime, we ought to be doing some...
Yes, I've been talking to Sandy about that, and also I had a letter from the state. I don't have it with me tonight, but I believe, I need to verify, but I believe there is additional money in the budget, the state budget, for reval, and then if you do a reval, money each year, more than before. We've always had some money come in to help, but enhanced amount of money to keep that reval updated. And so I do think, and it's kind of on my agenda to give serious thought to this, and like you say, within the next couple of years. Probably wouldn't be this coming year, but perhaps the following year.
I would think the year 2000 would be a good year for getting everything in place.
Getting it ready for it, because it would benefit us.
It might be advisable to get together with Sandy or some members of the assessors with the town board and discuss this and how to approach it.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Planning board?
I'll give a report we get the layers on.
All right. ZBA also?
Yeah.
Okay, highway superintendent.
I read this the other night, and there's something I wanted to mention.
Well, I'd like to say it was encouraging to see our equalization rate is starting to move back up again. That's a good sign for everybody in the town. Month of September, we finished our spray patching. We had one tree down with the wind. Continued ditching. We had some sweeping to do. Continued with our sign maintenance, keeping that up to state code. We resurfaced Old State Road north of the bridge. That's where they made the road cut to repair the water line earlier this summer. We assisted Oswego Town with their paving operation. We have a intermunicipal agreement between ourselves and Hannibal and Oswego Town. We help each other do our paving. Ends up saving us all time and money. We did 4 driveways. We got involved in some maintenance work, some brake work, and the drive line on the 82 International. We replaced all of that. And usually, from when we finish hauling our sand till we start plowing snow is when we'll really look at the equipment, and any maintenance we put off, we'll take care of it then. Especially that's when we do our brakes, and because we can tie the trucks up usually for a week or so in that period. We started hauling sand this month, and salt has been coming in. We'll be mixing that up. We've got most of it mixed now and ready to go, at least the first batch of it. The inventory of the highway equipment has been turned over to the town clerk as required in the month of September. I had the opportunity to attend a seminar. It was put on by Stadium International. It was very informative, and it was keyed towards trucking industry is moving toward maintenance-free equipment, trucks, parts, vehicles, and there were some people from all throughout the industry bringing the ideas up about, well, such things as self-adjusting clutches was one thing they talked about. Truck hubs that are designed to last 1 million miles, extended life coolant, kind of things that eventually the industry is going to go to them, and I think it's going to save us all money in the long run. And for September, we had 8 hours of community service work provided, and I guess that's about all I have.
Thank you.
We placed the order for the new truck.
Yes, that last week that went in.
Did you get a possible tentative date on that when it?
I haven't talked to him since he's placed the order. I faxed it down to him, so I'll have to get a hold of him and find out for sure. But rough guess was February when it would be back in the Syracuse area. And then it has to go and have the box put on it, the plow and the wing and that kind of stuff. So it's going to be hopefully early spring.
Good.
Thank you. Finance report, well, I've indicated we've had 2 budget meetings and we're making very good progress. Is there anything else, Bob?
No, just Bob picked up on attorneys. We've had a big bill this past month, $2,200 left there, so we'll have to watch that. And we've already talked about a little about around the end of probably December to have some transfers.
You know that. Code enforcement, I do have a report. For September, we have a total number of permits is 19, for a total building cost of $407,596. Total permit fees is $1,075.
A lot of activity going on there.
A great deal. One night I was here and they were lined up all the way down the hall. I think, and probably people are anxious to get their projects done, some of the smaller projects, at least before the snow flies. For the year, we have a total of 132 permits issued, $3,466,770, and permit fees of $8,110. This is up substantially over a year ago.
That's great. Could you make a copy and put that in my basket, please? Thank you.
Bob says we only took in 2 million.
Yes?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
From that.
Is there something more on that?
No, there should be a motion made on advertising for the public hearing
Oh,
for the budget.
that's a good point. We set the date and...
What was the total of that
didn't think
they
about
took in, Nancy? What was the total? Can I write that down? 3 million?
Total, this is not necessarily what we've been completed yet. $3,466,770. These are permits that have been issued.
For $3 million? I'm confused.
It's almost 3.5 million.
But this is not assessed yet, because some of these are not anywhere near completed.
Well, I'm confused because at the budget meeting, Bob says
Yes, that was assessed properties.
Where-
Properties that are completed and the assessors have gone out and got
2
them on.
million something, he said.
That's last year's, Rose.
Okay.
That's last year's building permits.
This will get there, but it's not there yet because
Okay.
these are not,
Properties won't appear on.
All right, so one you spoke about 2 million something, and then we spent it in veterans, farmers, and all that. That's a different figure.
yes.
Okay.
Last year it was $2,182,000.
All right, I was-
Some of these are not ready to be assessed yet. It's the
All right, I was
projects
just
are not even
confused there,
complete.
Bob. I mean,
Yeah, that's the
okay.
reason.
Thank you.
Youth program. I know we had a successful program the other night.
Yes.
Might want to, Miss Anthony attended the Trail of Terrors. She may
Yes,
have a...
yes. I went to the Trail of Terrors with the youth program Sunday night. There was 33 or 34 children and escorts. It came to 40 something. It was great. Free cider, free donuts. We left here at 6:30 and we got back at 10:30. It was great. It was great to see a bus full of people.
Good.
It was great. free donuts, free cider, and
Kids all enjoyed it,
we
too.
sat around the fireplace, the big fireplace. It was just great. I enjoyed it.
There's not something planned for the younger children this fall. There was, someone asked me the other day, and I was confused because I hadn't heard that there was...
We've been dealing with the age range of 5 to 15.
Right, but this was suitable for the older edge of that age range.
It's going to be hard because I've been working with Dave, and like if you want to take a busload to Syracuse Chiefs ball game, the little tots aren't going to sit through a ball game. It's hard to plan something, you know.
Well, Dave is trying to mix it up. He's getting some for the younger group and some for the older
Yeah,
group.
that's where you've got to find different ages for different things.
I just wondered if anything was planned. I hadn't heard that there was.
He was talking about a hayride,
Maybe that was it.
and but I haven't heard anything more on that. And also apple picking.
Okay. So there may be some other fall events.
Yeah.
Good. Rose, do you have any additional reports?
No, the seniors are still going on their trips. When do they stop?
They just came back last night.
I know it.
Night.
Boy,
They
they've
have
been
to
all
schedule. They're busy.
I give them credit, boy. Keep going.
Great. Yeah,
Keep going.
You want me to jump in there now?
certainly.
Well, I'm just going to touch highlights. The planning board had a meeting October the 5th. We met for about a couple hours. They were still working on that Green Blanding subdivision, which is known as Deer Meadows subdivision also. They conferred with both lawyers. I guess the problems are being worked out on that. And they also got the results of the community survey handed to them, and they'll be working on that. And of course, they're having meeting, getting together on a Saturday to work on their maps. So we should be hearing, eventually they'll have public hearings and let everybody know what's going on as far as the comprehensive plan.
I got a question on that with you.
Good.
On Wilcox Road.
Yeah,
Well, I got a few calls that in the paper it said it was canceled
The public hearing was canceled.
public hearings,
on Blanding and Green.
correct.
It was just canceled, and then all of a sudden they're working on. I mean, that was
Well, the public hearing was on the changes to the original plan.
the paper says canceled.
Yes, and the public hearing was canceled because as far as changing that original plan, they are back to square one. The original plan, they made the decision the other night, had to stand. So that's the difference.
And that's what the meeting was about the other night.
Okay,
Yeah.
You can read this if you like, it'll tell you.
I take your word.
I think they're having a meeting Saturday,
Correct.
and are they still taking volunteers?
Yeah, I volunteered, but they picked the wrong one.
What do you do on Saturdays?
They're working with the maps, and I don't know exactly. They're going to meet this Saturday. They work 3 hours or 4 hours.
Well,
9
you
to...
met Saturday, didn't you, with them?
No,
Oh, not yet?
no. This is the second
Before I
Saturday.
volunteer, I want to know what it involves.
They have maps, and they go up and down the road, so to speak, and identify how the property is being used. It's an actual visual inventory of how the property is being used. It's very labor intensive. That's why I mentioned volunteers, because they could use some. I know that one gentleman did volunteer.
What time are you volunteering, Vince?
This Saturday is from 9 to 12. You can call Jim and see if he wants any help.
Okay.
I volunteered. I told him, well, Jim, you picked the wrong Saturday. They were talking about doing it the following Saturday, but they picked the one that I'm going away.
They haven't scheduled any more public meetings yet?
No.
Okay, because I do get calls rather regularly. There are people who are very much interested in this project, and I'm very happy to see it. But we want to make sure that those people are adequately notified
Oh, okay, yeah.
on those meetings.
You mean for the
And I've been
comprehensive
keeping
plan?
phone numbers and addresses
Okay,
of these
good.
people who call, because they
Good idea.
take the time to call and have shown a good bit of interest. But it's a slow process.
I believe they want to get done with the maps, and then I guess they'll be ready.
Then I think they will be ready for some more input from the public and so forth. Mr. Polowitz?
I have nothing, other than, do you want me to make this motion on that public hearing?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion that we advertise for the public hearing on the budget that's scheduled for November 3rd, 1999 at 7 p.m.
I'll second it.
And thank you both. Can we have a vote on that?
Counselor Anthony?
Yes.
Counselor Greco?
Yes.
Supervisor Hawthorne?
Yes.
Counselor Haggerty?
Yes.
Counselor Polowitz?
Aye.
Thank you on that one. And Rick?
Nothing.
Okay.
Not a thing.
Very good. Could we have a motion to approve payment of the town bills? This is abstract 10A 99.
I'll make a motion to approve the town bills as listed on abstract 10A 99 in the amount of $14,217.85 from the general fund, $10,941.86 from the highway fund, and $5,143.37 from the special districts.
Could we have a second on that one?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was that repair, right?
No, that was largely the Hannibal Street, the new sewer district. Remember, we had to get a ban last year, and this is the
that's
first
right.
payment on that
Okay,
ban.
yeah. I know we had a big one
It's
last month.
divided into
Yeah.
2 years, two-year payback, and this was the first payment is due this Friday. So we had to have the check ready for that. Okay, we have the next meetings. I think we're pretty well set. Are those dates all right? The work session on the 27th. We'll have the budget hearing on the 11th, or the 7th.
20th.
The 3rd.
Yeah, you got them all listed here. 10:20 is a budget workshop, 10:27 is a work.
Almost every Wednesday. One thing or another.
11, 10, 11, 3. Okay, good.
28th. We are nearly done with the Town of Granby's emergency management plan, which we would be bringing to the board, I believe, after we've finished. This is something that's gone on for many, many months, and Rick has gone, and Lynn has gone, and myself, and a good many community people, fire people from the fire departments, the school system, and Morris has gone. So, but the end is near, and I'm quite proud of the effort. But that will come to, I believe that has to be approved by the town board before it becomes official. Public comment?
Well, let's make a motion
Okay,
to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?